Vladimir Putin's army was forced to retreat near the strategic Lyman base, a catastrophic failure in the east. Lyman is not an ordinary town, it's the northern gate of Donbass, the last railway junction leading to Kramatorsk and Slovyansk. ISW and Ukrainian General Staff data from May 2026 indicate that the initiative in the region now belongs to Ukraine. While Russian generals settle for a few desperate attacks, Ukraine is gaining positions on the forward lines. And now their own military bloggers are writing, the offensive has reached a dead end, including Rybar, who stated on his Telegram channel with millions of followers, Russia can no longer use tanks in offensives. Even if we advance, nothing will change. Russia's 2026 objective was ambitious. Slovyansk, Kramatorsk, Drushkivka, Konstantinovka, taking the last 4 major cities of Donbass. According to ISW's March 2026 assessment, Russia officially launched its spring-summer offensive, targeting the fortress belt formed by these cities. This belt is a 50-kilometer fortified defense line that has been strengthened since 2014. If it falls, the roads to Kharkiv, Dnipro, and Zaporizhia open. Putin's generals had planned a pincer from 3 directions: from the north via Lyman, from the east via Siversk, from the south via Konstantinovka. Taking Bakhmut cost them nearly 2 years. These 4 cities are far more heavily fortified than Bakhmut. But Putin had been told, "We'll take all of Donbass by autumn." The preparation had been serious. Since 2024, more than 4,000 airstrikes were conducted on the Kramatorsk-Slovyansk axis. Russia changed tactics, shifting to dispersed assault groups. And according to ISW's assessment, perhaps the war's most intensive armored vehicle buildup has been accumulated on the Russian side. But the plan had one problem. They needed to pass through the northern gate. That gate was Lyman, and that gate didn't open. Russia's initial mechanized assaults in the Lyman direction resulted in heavy losses. By March, the northern and southern flanks had been reached. They had advanced to the main street in Drobyshev. But right at that moment, Kupiansk fell, and the northern supply line was cut. Feeding into Lyman stopped, and the advance stayed right there. The General Staff data from May 22nd shows us very interesting things. 253 clashes in a single day across the front, but looking inside that number reveals the desperation of the Russian command. 7 attacks were launched in the Lyman direction, Zarichna, Serednya, around Lyman. All were repelled. 4 attacks in the Slovyansk direction, same result. What do these numbers mean? Russia no longer has offensive power at the northern gate of the fortress belt, only probing power. They're testing, trying, but they can't get through. And ISW's assessment published the same day completes the picture. Confirmed with geolocalized imagery, Ukrainian forces advanced to the southeast of Kriva Luka in the Slovyansk direction. Meaning while Russia retreats, Ukraine is gaining positions. This is no longer defense, it's counter-pressure. And ISW's May 16th assessment contains a striking finding. Gerasimov presented extremely inaccurate assessments of the front situation for the 5th consecutive month, claiming they had advanced west of Kupiansk when they hadn't even taken Kupiansk. ISW's wording is clear. Absurd. Their own Chief of General Staff has been lying to the President for 5 months, and each of these lies increases the price paid on the front. An even more striking picture is hidden between the lines of the front reports. In the May 22nd to 23rd reports, 0 offensive operations in the Kupiansk direction. Russia appears to have effectively abandoned this line. The same situation in the Kramatorsk direction, no offensives. The northern arm of the pincer has been completely lost, the central objective abandoned. Russia continues to attack at Lyman, but why it's attacking is now unclear. Even if it takes Lyman, advancing on Kramatorsk without Kupiansk resupply appears very difficult. The strategic purpose has collapsed, but tactical inertia continues, and this inertia costs hundreds of soldiers every day. In the south, the picture is equally bleak for the Russian command. According to the same General Staff data, on May 22nd, 25 Russian attacks were recorded in the Konstantinovka direction and 52 in the Pokrovsk direction. 253 guided aerial bombs were dropped across the front. But what result did this massive firepower produce? All 52 attacks at Pokrovsk were repelled. On May 20th, 23 assaults were repulsed in a single day on the Lyman front. These data show Russia maintains its attack capacity but cannot convert this capacity into results. The cost of each attack increases, the return approaches zero. The southern arm of the pincer also hit the same wall as the north. The emerging picture is this: Russia is attacking everywhere, but cannot achieve meaningful progress anywhere. What's happening at Lyman resembles strategic headbanging more than strategic offense. The same wall, the same speed. And with each hit, it's not the wall that breaks, but the head. Because every unit lost at Lyman can no longer be sent to Konstantinovka or Pokrovsk. ISFW's April assessment contains a striking finding. Russia must choose between reinforcing the south and sustaining the Donbass offensive. This sentence is now insufficient, because the choice involves more than two. 4 sectors are in retreat simultaneously. Kupiansk was lost, northeast logistics were broken. In the south, Ukraine launched counterattacks, forcing Russia onto the defensive in Zaporizhia. Pressure is increasing on the Kharkiv border, and the advance at Lyman has stopped. Zelensky announced the figures on May 22nd. 590 square kilometers of territory recaptured since the beginning of 2026. This figure covers not just the south, but also gains in the east and the Kupiansk region. The trend is definitely not in the occupiers' favor, he said, and looking at the data, it's not hard to support this assessment. When Russia transfers resources to one sector, the other 3 collapse. The blanket tears with every pull, and there's no more blanket left. The loss of Kupiansk directly affected Lyman, the same railway network. 2 junctions falling in the same period points to structural dissolution. As of May 14th, our offensive actions exceeded Russian attacks for the first time. This single sentence may be the war's turning point. For the first time, Ukraine is the attacking side, Russia is the defending side. And Syrskyi achieved this by forming 16 corps during active combat. 19,203 Russian soldiers hit by drones in 19 days, more than 1,000 per day. In March, 96% of casualties came from drones. 940 new soldiers are being recruited daily, but more than 1,140 are being lost. The army is shrinking. Putin's generals said Donbass by autumn. British Defence Intelligence did the math. At least 4 more years and 2 million additional casualties may be needed. Putin has neither 4 years nor 2 million. And here's the critical question that needs to be asked. Is Russia truly collapsing, or is it making a deliberate withdrawal? And can Ukraine see the difference? There is strong evidence on the structural collapse side. Kupiansk was lost, Lyman stalled, territory was given back in the south, 4 sectors in simultaneous retreat. The attrition math supports this. The casualty rate exceeds the mobilization rate. The logistical advantage is shifting to Ukraine, and their own sources confirm it. According to N.V., Ukraine's reporting, dozens of Russian military bloggers, including Rybar, are writing, "The offensive has reached a dead end. Command is hiding real casualties. Officials are on vacation while soldiers die." But another possibility should not be ignored either. Russia may be deliberately abandoning some positions to shorten its defense line, concentrating resources at critical points, preparing the spring-summer offensive. ISW's assessment of the most intensive armored buildup of the 50-month war supports this scenario. Russia has wars in its history where it appeared to be losing but came back, and completely rejecting this possibility would be an analytical error. Most likely it's a mix of both. The logistical damage at Lyman and Kupiansk appears irreparable. This is structural. But it's too early to say Russia has completely collapsed. There are still resources, still will, still mechanized power. What is certain? Ukraine's evolution is turning this equation more and more against Russia. The drone revolution changed the rules of war. Britain sent a 120,000 drone package, the war's largest single delivery. Ukraine reached a production capacity of millions of drones per year. Signal-free drones, unmanned ground vehicles, AI-assisted targeting. Every time Ukraine produces a solution before Russia can adapt to it, Ukraine is already creating the next problem. And Syrskyi forming 16 corps on the front is the most concrete proof of this evolution. Structural reform during active combat. Not just an army that fights, but one that rebuilds itself. Even if it's a trap, Ukraine has the capacity to see it. and seeing means preparing. But we need to be honest. Russia is not finished, and ignoring this reality would be propaganda, not analysis. According to ISW's March 2026 assessment, the shaping phase of the spring-summer offensive targeting the fortress belt has begun and has not yet reached full power. Russia is concentrating forces, conducting reconnaissance, increasing air pressure. On the Eastern Front, there are approximately 300,000 personnel in a crescent formation across three group forces. The Seva group at approximately 80,000 in the north, the Zapad and Yuzhnaya groups at approximately 120,000 in the center, and the Vostok group at approximately 100,000 in the east. The loss of Kupiansk shook the logistical foundation of the Zapad group, but these forces were not completely destroyed. Regrouping efforts continue. In the south, the air interdiction campaign targeting Ukrainian supply lines around Kramatorsk has been ongoing since February 2026. FPV and Molniya drone attacks from Chasiv Yar were intensified. Armored vehicles were pulled to the area, artillery and tactical airstrikes doubled. According to ISW's assessment, Russian casualties in the past week reached approximately twice the winter months' levels. The cost of the offensive is very heavy, but Russia continues to pay. The Belarus card is on the table. Tension on the northern border is rising. Pressure on the Sumy axis is intensifying, and Russia's nuclear deterrence is still part of the equation. On the other hand, challenges are growing for Ukraine as well. 4 years of war is depleting human resources. The soldier shortage is now a topic even in diplomatic discussions. The Ukrainian government set the 2026 defense budget at $120 billion, a figure far beyond what the country can afford on its own. Holding the defense line requires as many resources as attacking, and simultaneously sustaining the southern counterattack and the northern defense forces resource division, just like the blanket dilemma Russia is experiencing. But the cards in Ukraine's hand are also getting stronger. After the Lyman gate was held, units freed up at Kupiansk can be shifted to other fronts. Siersky has more operational flexibility. In the south, the 590 square kilometer recapture provided strategic depth, and the 16-core structure carries the capacity to transition from defense to offense. So what kind of picture might emerge in autumn 2026? The most likely appearing scenario is a de facto stalemate. Russia may not reach the belt, and Ukraine may not find the resources to launch a major counter-offensive. In this case, the front line largely stays unchanged, and both sides continue to attrite. As Finnish President Stubb said, Ukraine has been in its best position for months, but even the best position doesn't end the war on its own. The negotiation table may be gaining strength, but the terms Russia would accept are still very far from Ukraine's. Another possibility is Russia using its accumulated mechanized force in the Lyman or Konstantinovka direction. This buildup is the war's most intensive, but Russia's mechanized offensives have consistently resulted in heavy costs in this war. Drone saturation and minefields make every mechanized wave expensive. The buildup may be large, but the tactical doctrine to use it will still face the same problems. The shift to dispersed assault groups is the new tactic identified, but Ukraine's drone defense has already begun adapting to this as well. And finally, Ukraine's domino effect. Kupiansk plus Lyman plus southern gains combining to structurally collapse Russia's eastern strategy. This is the most optimistic scenario, and given Ukraine's manpower limitations, the probability of total collapse appears low. More realistic is Russia's gradual withdrawal and shortening of its defense line, with Ukraine managing this withdrawal through a controlled pursuit strategy. Whichever scenario materializes, two factors will be decisive: how Ukraine manages its soldier shortage and when and where Russia deploys its mechanized buildup. And for both sides, this is a war of attrition, not just who can hold their breath longer, but who breathes smarter. So far, Ukraine is breathing smarter, but breath is not infinite. And here we need to look at a broader picture, because this war is no longer just between Ukraine and Russia. On April 23, 2026, the EU Council made a historic decision. 90 billion euros in credit to Ukraine for 2026 to 2027, 60 billion euros for military aid, 30 billion euros for budget support. This credit has a notable condition. Ukraine will prioritize European manufacturers in weapons procurement, meaning this package strengthens not just Ukraine, but the European defense industry as well. And the credit will only be repaid when Russia pays war reparations. Since the start of the war, total military support from the EU and member states has reached $82.9 billion. More than 87,500 Ukrainian soldiers have been trained through the EU's military training mission. Under the EU's €150 billion Safe Defence Instrument, 15 of 19 member states' national plans include joint projects with Ukraine. Ukraine is no longer just a weapons buyer, but is becoming a partner of the European defence industry. And $4 billion from Russia's frozen assets were directly transferred to Ukraine's defence industry. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio made a striking observation on May 14th. The Ukrainian armed forces are currently the strongest and most combat-capable military in all of Europe. And he added, "The Russians are losing 5 times more soldiers per month than the Ukrainians." Consider this irony. Before the war started, Russia was accepted as the world's second most powerful military. 4 years later, the US Secretary of State declares Ukraine Europe's strongest military. Czech security advisor Fultin: "European militaries should adopt Ukraine's experience. These qualities did not exist in Europe before." Estonian Foreign Minister Tsahkna completely reversed the equation. "Our region also needs a security guarantee from Ukraine." Russia came to destroy Ukraine, but transformed Ukraine into Europe's strongest military. And the EU's €90 billion is the guarantee that this transformation will continue in 2026 to 2027. Russia's Donbass plan was the most ambitious objective of 4 years, and it was stopped at all 4 gates. In the north, the Lyman gate closed. In the south, 40 attacks at Konstantinovka were repelled in a single day. In the east, infiltration from Siversk hit a wall. And with the loss of Kupiansk, the northeast logistical spine was broken. The dream of Donbass by autumn drifts further away with each passing day. Russia is still dangerous. The mechanized buildup is the war's most intensive, and the spring-summer season continues. But every time it pulls the blanket, somewhere else is left exposed. While trying to save Kupiansk, it lost the south. While trying to hold the south, Lyman stalled. While pushing at Lyman, it was forced to allocate resources to Belarus. Every move tries to compensate for the previous failure, and every compensation attempt produces a new failure. Whatever happens at the table in autumn 2026, stalemate, mechanized offensive, or domino, one reality doesn't change. Donbass's gate closed, and the cost of reopening it increases every day. Putin's every move accelerates the very thing he's trying to stop. Every threat he makes strengthens the front against him. 4 years ago, Russia was the world's second most powerful military. Now the US Secretary of State declares Ukraine Europe's strongest. And at Donbass's gate, the place Russia wants most, that army was stopped. Russia wanted the key to Donbass, but the lock changed before it could make a copy. And it's running out of both the time and the resources to make a key for the new lock. The red lines have been drawn. If this content interested you, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and follow the channel.